Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Dear brothers and sisters, today we're continuing again with chapter 28 and the story of Moses. We spoke the last time about how the upbringing of an individual in an environment, even if this environment is promoting falsehood, promoting disbelief, promoting injustice, promoting being selfish, promoting self-interest, promoting evil, rewarding evildoer, and penalizing good doers. We understood that Moses on one hand, Joseph on another hand, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam on the other hand, they all grew up in these environments. Ibrahim alayhi salam, they all grew up in this environment. And what happened? They had the bravery to stand up and say, La ilaha illallah. There is no God other than Allah, worthy of worshipping. There is no God other than Allah we can depend on. And then they put everything on the table. You know, when people playing poker or playing all these kind of plays, he puts everything. You know, he knows he's going to win. And that's it. That's the mentality of a believer. Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, Rabah al-Bay, another one of the Sahaba, the Prophet Muhammad, why? They put everything on the table. Do you know that the reward is huge? They're playing the stock market game. What's the stock market game? He put $1, he gains at the end $1 million. That's what it is. With Allah, when you sacrifice $1, when you sacrifice yourself, when you sacrifice your power, anything you sacrifice for the sake of Allah, okay, in the right understanding of Islam, because we need to clarify that Islam doesn't promote killing innocent people. Does not at any level or at any circumstances, Islam does not justify killing a civilian. Even you have a dispute with whatever government, you cannot kill or touch a civilian, a woman or child. You cannot, under any circumstances. So that disbelief, that kind of wrong ideology, it needs to be destroyed. Because we are a people of, Muslims are people of Allah. And Allah, He is the one who's gonna judge those people. But we are here to fight whoever fighting you. That's in all laws. It's even in any law. Somebody's coming, intruder, coming to your home, and in self-defense, you have the right to kill him. That's no problem. So what we're trying to say here is these people understood the message, you know, and then they were accompanied by people who understood the message, like Muhammad alayhi salam, his Sahaba, and they put everything they have. Even when they went to Medina with the Ansar, what's happening? The Ansar established that Islamic hood. They gave them whatever they have. They split everything they have. And this is why Allah's rahmah came down. And Allah helped that deen from one man, Muhammad alayhi salam. Muhammad started that religion with one revelation. Iqra, read. That's when the first word came down. So that tells us what? That you have to understand the religion before you, and you ask yourself, why I'm doing this? Why? And this is series of lectures, of videos, is for us to understand why we're doing. Because remember, a student, an A+ student, he will only be able to answer the questions right if he understands the material. Anybody who memorizes the material will gonna come in a multiple choice question, 5 answers look the same. The only one person who will understand the material, be able to get the right answer. Why? Because he understood the material. He's not easily to be swayed by the devil. He's like, oh, wait a minute. No, this is wrong. Oh, wait a minute. No, this is min amal al-shaytan, as we come in right now. This is from the act of the devil. No. So understanding is very important in our religion, in Islam, in why you do the thing, why you worship Allah, why Allah is asking you to do this. That's understanding, very important. So you still be continuing on the right path. Otherwise, I saw in my life a lot of people, they have the good intention, they start coming to the masjid. You see that, for example, in the months of Ramadan, the mosques are full of people. And what happened after the months of Ramadan? Nobody comes. The reason is the driving force is not there. The months, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making the months of Ramadan to help you to continue throughout the year the same level of worshiping. It's the same days. It's nothing, there's special things and special virtues about the months of Ramadan, but Allah made it that way to give you the push. Like you tell you, sign for that credit card, you get bonus. They want you to continue using that card. So you get the bonus, and that's the months of Ramadan. There's a bonus here to help you throughout the life. Keep continuing, not just the month of Ramadan and after this, And the reason people are not, because they're not understanding why they are doing these rituals, these acts of worshiping. Again, we come down to the story of Moses, and we said after this, Moses, who had the right upbringing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to get his messengers ready for the big missions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to put them through difficulties. Why? Because difficulties build characters. Difficulties build characters. And this is what happened here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did the same thing with Joseph. Again, he's repeating the same thing with Moses. What happened? That Moses will be subjected to a trial. And you see, because he need to learn from that trial, he need not to repeat that trial again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has another goal, that Moses at this time need to leave Egypt and come back after 10 years. So that's the whole idea. You have to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acts. If you are doing what he asks you to do, if you are aware and something happened, what Allah is doing is a blessing for you all the time. Then Moses, so continuing with the story of Moses, وَدَخَلَ الْمَدِينَةِ, he entered the city, say for example Manhattan, على حين غفلة من أهلها, the people were sleeping, afternoon nap, slow. فوجد فيها رجلين يقتتلان, he found two people are fighting, one from the Israelites and one from the Egyptians. So he supported the Egyptian he supported the Israelite over the Egyptian. So what did he do? Moses was a big guy, strong guy. He hit the guy fell down, maybe he hit his head on the floor or whatever, on the ground, the guy died. على الذي من فوكزه موسى فقضى عليه. The guy, he killed the guy. قال هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو مضل مبين. He said this act is from the acts of the devil. Basically what he's saying, that this is even before Moses became a messenger. This is before Allah gave him that message. That's even the Moses, he knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the previous ayah, he said he gave him the knowledge and the wisdom. But this is what is the message is for all of us. That sometimes things happen. As a believer, you know that what you did is wrong. Try to rectify it, try to change it, try to correct it if you can. But remember, Allah is a merciful. Don't, because the shaitan basically takes a person and make that act what he did and made him regret it, and then he makes the person not ask for forgiveness, but get away from Allah. He said, oh, I started this, so let me indulge in more and more and more act in indulge in more and more acts of disobedience. And that is a huge, brothers and sisters. Once you see your foot slipping, bring it back. Very important. And this is what Moses did. Once he saw that this act is not what a Muslim, a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is supposed to do, he's supposed to control his anger. And this is very important, because a lot of the crimes we see around us is because people cannot control that rage. Once you're out of control and you got rage, indeed the shaitan, this is a huge moment for the shaitan. You know, the peak moment where the shaitan will act. And they ask you to kill, ask you to hit. How many domestic violence incidents? Somebody hitting his wife, and then he regretted because he's going to be in jail. The second thing, you see a lot of people are just fighting about a parking spot. Somebody just get a gun and shoot the other guy. You see so many things happen. Somebody, in a store, they get in a disagreement. You shoot the guy. This is what happened. The shaitan act. But the shaitan will. So why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do? With the prayers. So be protected. All the time have the name of Allah on your tongue. That will completely give you protection from the shaitan.